What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan.
And today's topic, should Christians tell their kids about Santa Claus? Should they cultivate an environment of believing in, and here's what I decided to call him, the big man in the sky number 2.
No.
What?
No, he's at the North Pole. He rides around on reindeers. Well, I guess he doesn't ride the reindeers. He rides in a sleigh.
Thank you for filling us in on who Santa Claus is, babe.
But that's who we're talking about. We're not talking about Saint Nicholas, the real Saint Nicholas.
Who did exist.
Was a Greek.
Greek?
Yeah, like a Greek something saint.
News to me. No, we are.
I heard that in Allie B. Stuckey's podcast, so she could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm definitely saying it wrong.
We are focusing today on Santa Claus, the Christmas tradition that so many American families, and I'm sure elsewhere also,
but mainly
American families hold the tradition of Santa Claus and everything that comes with that.
Yes.
Knows when you're naughty or nice. He's bringing presents.
He
comes down
when you've been
through the chimney.
He knows when you're
And he
awake.
loves cookies. Yeah,
Yeah.
So let's...
Yeah. Let's get into that. But first, before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, why not?
True.
That's my question.
Totally.
But we make videos on culture and social issues from a Christian perspective to help you have hope.
And be free. Boom. All right, Morgan, you are leading this conversation.
Yes, I am.
So I'm excited for you to do so. Get us started. Should Christians celebrate Santa Claus with their kids?
All right. I know that majority of the people who watch our channel probably don't have children. So
The majority of our audience is in their early, mid
30, like
20s. In their
Yeah.
20s is typical. The majority.
So, if you don't have kids, I still think this is a good topic for you guys to be paying attention to, because it was not a topic that I was like even thinking about when I was single, and when we started dating, I was not thinking about it. And then, yeah, so anywho, I think it's relevant to anyone, no matter what your age. Unless you're 7, don't watch this.
Yeah, that's true. If you're 5 and you think Santa's real, don't watch this. But no, yeah, if you're 20, you're hoping to get married, have kids.
You're going to have this conversation with your spouse at some point.
Why not go and have it right now with us?
Right. All right. So several days ago, I made a post on my Instagram and just asked, one who celebrates Christmas on who follows me.
Mm-hmm.
Majority said they do. I said, Paul and I celebrate Christmas. We have little Christmas traditions with us, with my family, whatever. And then I went on to the next question. Dun, dun, dun.
Which ended up being the much more
Which was
controversial one.
Will you tell your children that Santa exists? And I shared these 2 posts that Allie B. Stuckey posted, and they're pretty long, so I don't think I'll read them. But I saved them to my Instagram highlights. I made a highlight called Santa.
Oh.
So if you want to, you can go check that out. But yes. So someone asked, what is the best thing to teach kids as they grow if you don't want them to believe in Santa? They asked Allie B. Stuckey this. She responded with, that there is a real gift giver, God, in a real place, heaven, with real helpers, angels, who really sees you, hears you, knows you, cares about you, loves you, and promises to meet your needs. He really is everywhere, sees everyone, and knows everything. He gives real gifts, the greatest of which is his son, and he does so not because of you being naughty or nice, but because he is gracious and good. He is mysterious, but he is real. Santa is a fun character, and Saint Nicholas is a historical figure to learn about, but Christmas isn't about fantasy. It's about celebrating the real God becoming our Savior. So I thought that was really good. Just quick response. She's got a whole highlight as well. But anywho, Santa Claus.
I'm curious to, and that was a good response. It was articulated very well in usual Allie fashion. I'm curious to tackle, is telling your kids that Santa Claus is real, kind of where is it on the spectrum in our opinion, because a lot of this is our opinion. Yeah. Some of it is biblical. There's going to be some biblical overlap. Where on the spectrum is it? Is it just harmless and fun and Christians watching? I'm excited to bring my future kids into this tradition of telling them about Santa and so forth? Or is it like, no, this is pretty problematic and unhealthy, and
Yeah.
we are actually warning, like,
Yeah. So basically, I asked on my Instagram, I was like, one, are you going to tell your kids about Santa? If yes, do you think that telling your kids that Santa is real is a lie? And majority of them said yes, it is a lie, but it's okay. It's a
oh,
white lie. It's a fun, imaginative thing. It's not really a lie, because if, like, some of them said, if my kid, when they get to a certain age and they ask me to my face, is Santa real? I will tell them, no, he's not.
so that's a very good thing to establish right off the bat. Most
Right.
people are okay with saying, yep, I am lying to my kids,
Yeah.
but
it's for fun. It's to help their imagination grow. And I was lied to, and I didn't, like, all of a sudden distrust my parents and whatever. So let's just talk real quick about our personal experiences growing up,
sure.
because I think that gives just a good little background. I grew up.
And real quick, I'm excited to hear your all's comments on this and
Yes.
see your personal experiences and where you've arrived. Comment below if you're watching the playback, or we'll actually do some live Q&A here in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the things that you all sent me on Instagram, like, I got hundreds and hundreds, seriously, messages about Santa Claus and just how you guys grew up, so it was very interesting. But I grew up, my parents told me about Santa, like, made me believe that he was real. I had 3 other siblings. My older sister, I don't know how old she was when she found out, but I found out on my own. I was down in the basement. I was 6 years old.
You found out that he was not real.
Yeah, I found out that he was not real when I was 6. And I was down in the basement looking for something, and I found this, like, big box of wrapping paper that was supposedly Santa's wrapping
from
paper.
The North Pole.
Yeah, like, my Christmas presents were wrapped in that paper. So how the heck was it in the basement? So I ran up with it and was like, Mom, what is this? Santa, why do you have this? And she was like, oh boy. And so I remember her sitting me down and saying, Morgan, you figured it out. Santa isn't real. You know, it's a fun thing to believe in, and you need to keep this a secret because your little brother and sister still believe, and we don't want to hurt that for them.
So right there, let me just say this. That's interesting, and I'm not trying to project my heavy-handed whatever, but I'm like, your mom ultimately love you, Tina, love you to death.
Yeah, there's no blame or like, oh, you did it wrong to my parents or anyone's parents.
Not yet. We'll see where this conversation goes. But it is interesting to hear, and from my perspective, your mom is ultimately pulling you in to the overarching deception, if you will. Is that wrong to say?
No, it's true. I mean, love you, Mom. But yeah, that is what happened, because now this pressure, which did I feel that pressure as a 6-year-old? Not really, but kind of like this pressure of, oh my goodness, like, now I can't ruin this. If I ruin this, my mom's going to be mad at me, which she didn't say that she was going to be mad.
I know that I hate feeling like I have a secret.
Yes, you do.
I just like things to be out in the open.
Yeah.
I'm a little almost over the top in that way, but I'm just saying.
So I remember finding out, and I was very hurt immediately, because it clicked with me that if Santa isn't real, that means I told my mom this. I was like, that means mermaids aren't real.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, yeah. And I was like, and the Tooth Fairy? Yeah.
So it was actually a pretty rough moment for you.
So it was hard. And, like, honestly, I remember, like, being upset with my parents for lying to me about that, because, like, it was kind of embarrassing, and it was kind of like shock and like frustration of like, why did you let me believe in this stuff if it wasn't even real? And so, did I hold on to that anger for the rest of my life? No. But I just remember that, and I now, as an adult, and thinking about us having children, like, I don't want my kids to feel that way. So I'd rather start out from the beginning, being honest with them, and whatever. But yeah, so you go ahead.
I'll just keep mine super brief. I grew up not believing in Santa Claus from as early as I can remember. My parents made it very clear there is this Santa Claus that many families celebrate. That's fine that they do, but we believe, but he's not real. My mom is just very blunt. He's not real. We're not going to go down that path. You can go over to your cousins and grandmas and get excited with them, but Santa's not real.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's our thing. Now, let's really just talk about the whole lying thing.
Let's start with the lying aspect. Good to see you on here, Jew and Greek, back in the live chat. Hey, I'm glad. I just want to say, all of you who show up for these lives that are able to show up live, it's fun to have you guys on here. I appreciate that.
Yes, it is. So I'm going to share just a conversation, and it's kind of long. But
how long is it?
I think that it's good.
Can you? What about if you just summarized?
I'll try. Okay. So this was just one of the many, many conversations I had on Instagram. And someone messaged back to me when I said, is it a lie? And they said, yes, it is a lie.
Real quick, but... Jew and Greek said, I'm a Momo now.
Yes.
That's funny.
We're happy to have you in the Momo clan.
By the way, we can't forget to ask how you guys feel about potentially a new name for you all. The Pamly.
Instead of P&M family, P-A-M, Pamly.
Pamly. P-A-M-I-L-Y. That's good.
What's up, Pamly?
What's up, Pamly? That's pretty good. Someone actually commented that, and we were like, that is clever. Why have we not thought of that?
I think it's great.
Anyway, go more.
All right, so this person said, parents lie to their kids all the time. It's inevitable, whether it is, wow, that's the best drawing I've ever seen.
Oh.
Or we're almost there. Or the goldfish isn't dead, it's sleeping.
So, real quick, all of those are lies that I'm
right.
not getting behind.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, to each of these, I'm like, okay, yes, parents do say that. Me, as a parent, my goal is to never lie to my child. And not to say that I'm going to be like, oh, this is a terrible drawing. Rather than lie to them and be like, this is the best drawing I've ever seen, it's going to be, you are so crafty.
Yeah.
You are so artistic. I love that you are being so artistic. Whatever. Coming out with things to say. Or, honey, I'm sorry to tell you this. The goldfish is not sleeping. It's dead. And that's how life goes. But, yeah, I don't know, just that, and so they go on to say, Santa brings so much joy. I've never heard anyone ever say that they are mad their parents told them about Santa and the reindeer. I could imagine a kid saying that he wishes he got to experience presents from Santa and leaving cookies and milk out for him on Christmas Eve. Those are memories. So
that wasn't that long.
Well, I chopped it.
Good job, babe. Well done. Very good.
So I definitely see what that person is saying, and we went back and forth, and it was good conversation. And
we have friends, Christian friends, who hold to it pretty much exactly what that person said.
Yeah, but my thought is, I don't want to lie to my kid. Paul and we don't want to lie to our children, even if it is having to say something that's kind of painful. Of, hey, your pet is dead. Obviously we would want to say that in a sensitive way, but use that time in their life of coming beside them, walking with them, showing them that the Lord is there to comfort them during this hard little season of their goldfish passing away, rather than trying to oh, your cat ran away or ran off with its girlfriend. No, let's just be real here, and use these as teaching moments. So as far as Santa Claus goes, I agree that those memories are really fun and a good time, and I look back and all my Christmases were so fun and exciting. But if we really think about it, one, it's just not what Christmas is about. This world, America, where we are culturally, has created it to be about Santa Claus and presents and all the cookies and treats and reindeers and lights and whatever, and that's fun and all, but that's not what Christmas is supposed to be about as a believer. We all know Jesus was not born. Yes?
Permission to speak.
on Christmas Day, but we're choosing to celebrate his birthday then. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good stuff, babe.
Okay.
I was working out earlier with a friend, and I told Morgan before going to work out with this friend, I was like, he's the type of guy that probably celebrated Christmas with his kids. I just figured that. So I get there, I ask him, and he was passionately opposed to telling his family that Santa Claus is real. I was surprised. And so I was
3 kids? 4?
He's got 4 kids. So I was asking him about it. And here's one thing he said that stuck out to me. I got this quote almost exactly word for word. It might be slightly different, but he said, "The world is going to lie to my children. I want them to come to me and say, 'I'm glad you never lied to me.'"
That's good.
How special is it to cultivate from a very young age a deep trust with your kids? I like actually what Allie B. Stuckey said. She said, when your kids are growing up, they're at a young age, there will be times because of their development.
Yeah.
She said they're going to have a hard time. You might just tell them part of the story or part of the explanation because they're going to have a hard time understanding the complexity of the subject.
Right.
But she said that doesn't justify making up a whole untrue story and making an effort to have them believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I would kind of add on to that is people like getting scripture references. You guys could read scripture and see, yeah, it's pretty clear. Don't lie. Multiple verses. But I could see the side of a parent, kind of like in this comment, and many people on this side of it saying, but this is not a lie with any type of bad intentions.
Right.
I'm not lying for selfish ambition. It's simply lying for my kids' own good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would push back on that, but I'm not really going to push back on that too much right now. But I would just say, and I was having this thought while I was driving, is it not, say you're watching and you're a young mother, is it not a rule in your house, do not tell a lie to your young kids with each other? Kids, don't lie to each other. Don't lie to mommy. Don't lie to daddy. And does that not go for you guys with your kids? I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, just a culture of honesty.
Yeah.
But then we choose to make an exception when it comes to Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, it's hard for me to really understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. And I think that there's this idea that if you don't tell your kids about Santa Claus, that they're going to have like a terrible experience of Christmas time. That's just not the reality of it. And I think that people who, if you're on this chat or in this video right now watching that and you're thinking that, but my kids won't have a fun time and they'll be missing out and they'll see all the other kids. Well, that's kind of on you if like all of a sudden you become doomsday when Christmas rolls around. Like, you can still have really fun memories, really fun traditions without creating this whole other lie to your child to believe in for so many years of their life, like rather have an honest, beautiful relationship with your kid and like have a fun Christmas time.
I had a lot of fun even going to my grandparents, where my cousins, who they were like 9 years old, 10 years old, still believing in Santa. It blew my mind. But nevertheless, we had fun with them and seeing them get excited. Oh, there's Santa's reindeer up on the roof. We just were like, oh my goodness, knowing that it wasn't true. It was fun for us.
Yeah,
Christmas has always been fun. Let me say this. I had a comment once I posted on Instagram, this is the topic for today. Someone pretty quickly said, Paul and Morgan, Santa is Satan. Right. Look at the letters. And
just one letter in reverse, whatever.
What do we think about that? That train of thinking? I
just think stop. I'm sorry for any of you all watching this and you're so passionate about how evil Santa is. I just don't. That's not where Paul and I are at. We don't think that Christmas is a pagan holiday.
There might be. We would recognize there is probably. It does seem clear that there are some pagan roots.
I would encourage you to go watch the video that Melissa Dougherty just put out a few weeks ago. It's kind of like satirical. and like comedy, but it's actually really good and has a point and a purpose to it, and she drops truth and facts about Christmas and its origins. And then there's another one by Mike Winger that he posted and is also really good, just about Christmas's origins.
There perhaps is pagan roots in some respects of some elements of Christmas, but there are also, in our opinion, very redeeming things, and you can treat it from a very Christian lens.
Right. As a Christian, it's not about the pagan nonsense. We're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. We know he wasn't born on December 25th, but we don't know necessarily when he was born. So let's just use this day, whatever, and this time to celebrate him and his birth, and let our kids know, just like Allie B. Stuckey said, like, there is a gift giver who... So
how about this then? When it comes to the people that are just so adamant, Santa, Satan, same letters, open your eyes, and they're going down that road. Let's focus on what's really here in front of us rather than getting, in our opinion, too much into the conspiracy stuff. You are, however you want to say it, lying to your family, your kids. That's one. And two, there are very real and clear parallels between Santa and God. Do you really, and you guys are welcome to push back on this, but do you really want to go down that road, like go all in on this? Yeah, Santa is, he knows every boy and girl, and he knows if they've been naughty or nice, and he brings gifts, and he's, really this almost, what is it, omnipresent, you can be everywhere, these supernatural properties. Do you really want to elevate this mythical being really almost on the same level as God and start creating that comparison confusion with your young kids?
Yeah, I can see it now, just a little kid, because they're so smart and they can put two and two together of being like, Mommy, is Santa God? And then you're like, well, no, he's not God, but he sees everything that I do, like,
he's got God, a lot of similarities.
How can he be everywhere? Like, God can't. Then what? Like, let's not try to build some man up to be like God unless it's Jesus. But yeah, I think that's a good point.
So I like doing these type of videos because you see what just kind of naturally flows as our perspectives get moving. We have a pretty negative, turns out, we have a pretty negative perspective on pushing and cultivating this Santa Claus Christmas.
I do want to be very clear, though, that one, I don't ever look at like other families who do tell their kids Santa, like, this never crosses my mind of like, oh my, can you believe that they're lying to their parent, like they're lying to their kids? Like, that's never a thought that crosses my mind. So I don't want you guys to think like we're just going around, if you tell us that you celebrate or tell your kids about Santa, we're judging you. We're really not. Like, this is our conviction. These are our thoughts, our opinions. You can take them or leave them. You are your child's parent. Yeah. You have to do what you feel is best for your kids. And it's going to, and not just what is best for your kids, but what is, as much as we're called to like love our children and have a good time with our kids, and we want them to have great memories, that's not like our sole purpose as parents. And I'm not a parent yet, so bear with me, but like, we're not called to let them have great memories. We're called to build them up to go down the path of the Lord, like train up a child in a way he should go, and he will not wander off, whatever the verse is.
Proverbs.
Yes. And so that's our main purpose. I think it's so easy though to get like enamored and caught up in the way America and wherever you live of like, oh, you have to do this for your kids, you have to do this, they have to have this experience, they have to have these memories, or else their whole life will be terrible and you'll be an awful parent if you don't do that. So I just encourage you all to be careful with falling into the trap of hearing all the things around you and feeling like you have to do these things too. It's okay to look weird, we're gonna look weird.
Exactly. And on that note, yes, we're open. There are, I'm sure, could be really strong cases made from Christian families that do Santa Claus. I'm open to hearing that. I am. But I just want to completely...
And we also don't think that this is a salvation issue. Sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
I don't feel like it is, even though I think there is wisdom in what we're saying. But I just very strongly agree with Morgan that, guys, do not look at where you live, this cultural that is completely embrace Santa Claus, and be like, almost like just give in to the pressures because it is what culture has done, and you're scared that your kids are going to be missing out. Yeah. Literally, Bible says, do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world. That can look a lot of different ways, but the patterns of this world, I could see Santa Claus and embracing this as being a pattern of this world.
Yeah.
Do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We're called to look different from the world in many ways.
Yeah, very different. So if your family looks exactly like every other family out there, you might want to question it.
All right, guys. Comment below, and we're open to hearing. Comment below. Keep the convo going. Where are you with Santa Claus? Did you grow up believing in him? Did it hurt when you found out he wasn't real? Do you still love it and think that you're going to do it with your kids? What are your thoughts on what we had to say? Let us know. Keep the convo going. And Merry Christmas, one and all.
Yes. Have hope.
And be free.
Oh, wait. I always forget to do this. Okay, bye.
We'll be back. As you may have noticed, we get very few brand deals, which is why our patrons, the names you see here, are so important.
You guys really are the lifeblood of this ministry. We could not do this without you all. If you believe in this content and you want to partner with us on Patreon, click the link below or just go to patreon.com/Paulandmorganshow.